Sir, why did you put flowers on my mother's grave yesterday? Adrian Moretti stopped moving. For 3 seconds, the only sound inside the study was the steady ticking of the antique clock behind his desk. The little girl standing in front of him did not look frightened. She looked certain. Adrian slowly lowered the document in his hand. What did you say? The girl tightened her fingers around a small wooden horse. I asked why you put flowers on my mama's grave. Adrian stared at her. Who told you I was at the cemetery? Nobody. Then how do you know I was there? I saw you. His eyes narrowed. You saw me yesterday. Yes, sir. Where? At the cemetery. That is impossible. The girl frowned. Why? Because I wasn't there. Yes, you were. No. You wore a black coat. Adrian's expression changed. And what else was I wearing? A silver watch. He instinctively looked at his wrist. The girl continued. You stood in front of the grave for a long time. Adrian's fingers slowly curled around the edge of the desk. Who took you there? My mama. Your mother? The child nodded. What is your mother's name? She looked at him as though the answer should have been obvious. Elena. The room seemed to lose all its warmth. Adrian stood so quickly that his chair rolled backward. Don't say that name. The little girl blinked. Why? Because your mother is dead. No. Adrian stared at her. She died 3 months ago. The girl's expression did not change. Mama says you believe that. His breathing became shallow. What is your name? Lily. Lily, who exactly is your mother? Elena. Where is she? She told me not to tell you. Then why did you come here? Lily looked down at the wooden horse in her hand. Because she said you were finally ready. Ready for what? The child reached into the pocket of her little blue dress. She pulled out a silver key. Adrian stopped breathing. He knew that key. The thin oval head, the tiny scratch near the edge, the number engraved into the metal, 17. It had belonged to Elena. He had seen it almost every day for 12 years. He reached for it. Where did you get this? Mama gave it to me. When? Last night. Adrian's face went pale. Elena gave you this last night? Yes. Where? In my bedroom. Your mother came into your bedroom? Yes. Was she alone? Yes. What did she look like? Lily smiled faintly. She looked tired. Adrian's throat tightened. What was she wearing? A grey coat. Anything else? She had a little cut here. Lily touched her eyebrow. Adrian stared. Elena had a tiny scar above her left eyebrow. He had kissed it thousands of times. A scar no photograph had ever shown clearly. A scar that had been hidden beneath her hair. How do you know about that? Mama has it. Adrian stepped backward. He sat down slowly. For 3 months he had lived with one fact. Elena Moretti was dead. The woman he had loved for 12 years had died in a car accident on a rainy night outside the city. He had identified her through official records. He had watched a sealed coffin lowered into the ground. He had stood beside her grave until dawn. He had refused to leave. And now a 4-year-old girl was telling him that Elena had visited her the night before. Adrian looked at the silver key. Lily. Yes? Did your mother tell you anything else? The girl nodded. She said you would ask me that. What did she tell you to say? She said. Lily leaned closer. Mama said you should remember the white roses. Adrian's face changed. White roses. He had bought white roses for Elena exactly once. Their wedding anniversary. She had told him that white roses meant something very specific. They meant, I came back. It had been a private joke between them. Nobody knew. Not Marco. Not Adrian's family. Not the house staff. Nobody. Adrian whispered, Who told you about the roses? Mama. His eyes closed. He could almost hear Elena's voice. If you ever come back to me, don't bring red flowers. He had laughed at the time. Now he couldn't breathe. Lily. Yes? What exactly did your mother say? She said if you put white roses on her grave. The girl paused. Adrian stared at her. What? She said you would finally know she was alive. Silence. Adrian looked toward the windows. Rain streaked the glass. Your mother is not alive. Lily tilted her head. She told me you would say that. Then what else did she tell you? She said you would go to the cemetery. Adrian stood. Why? Because there is another grave. His body went rigid. Another grave? Under hers. Adrian's phone began ringing. He looked at the screen. Marco Belandi, his closest friend, the only man Adrian trusted enough to answer at any hour. Adrian pressed the button. Marco. Boss? Where are you? At the East Wing. Why? I heard something. What? A door opened. Adrian looked toward the study door. It was closed. Did you see anyone? No. A pause. Then Marco asked, Are you alone? Adrian looked at Lily. No. The silence on the other end lasted too long. Who is with you? Adrian didn't answer. Marco's voice changed. Adrian, listen to me. What? Don't go to the cemetery. Adrian's eyes narrowed. Why? I received a strange call. From whom? Marco hesitated. Then he whispered. From Elena. Adrian's hand went numb. What did she say? She said you're asking questions you shouldn't be asking. Adrian stared at the little girl. What else? She said. Marco stopped. Say it. She said you would find out soon. Where is she? I don't know. Marco. I swear. Adrian's voice hardened. Did you know she was alive? Nothing. Marco. I have to go. The line went dead. Adrian stared at the phone. Lily looked at him. He sounded scared. Adrian slowly lowered the phone. You know him? Mama knows him. Does she trust him? Lily shook her head. No. Why? She said, he cries when he lies. Adrian looked toward the door. Marco had cried at Elena's funeral. He had held Adrian while Adrian broke down. He had stood beside the grave until the last person left. Adrian looked at the silver key again. What does number 17 mean? Lily smiled. Mama said you would know. Adrian did know. There were 17 storage rooms beneath the Moretti estate, but one of them had remained locked for years. Elena's private storage room. The room she had forbidden anyone to enter, including Adrian. He had never understood why. Now he did. Stay here. Lily shook her head. Mama said I should come. It's dangerous. I know. You're 4 years old. I know. Adrian stared at her. She sounded far too calm. What did she tell you about me? That you get angry when you're scared. He almost smiled. She's right. She said you also pretend you aren't. Adrian looked away. He hadn't heard Elena's voice in months. Yet somehow this child was bringing every part of her back. He picked up his coat. Come. They left the study. The corridor was silent. Adrian took 3 steps before stopping. Something white lay on the carpet. A rose. Fresh. Water still clung to its petals. He bent down. Underneath it was a folded piece of paper. He opened it. 6 words. You buried the wrong woman, Adrian. Lily looked over his arm. Mama wrote that. When? 3 months ago. Adrian touched the ink. It was still wet. He looked at the rose. Then at Lily. How? She shrugged. Mama said you would understand later. Adrian slipped the note into his pocket. He didn't understand. Not yet. But he knew where he was going. The cemetery. The rain had become heavier by the time Adrian's car stopped outside the Moretti family cemetery. Lily sat beside him. Adrian looked at her. You stay in the car. No. Lily. Mama said I should see it. See what? The second grave. Adrian stared at her. Then he opened the door. Stay beside me. The cemetery caretaker was waiting beneath a black umbrella. His name was Thomas Reed. He had worked there for 26 years. When he saw Adrian, he immediately approached. Mr. Moretti. Show me. Thomas hesitated. You should prepare yourself. I've been preparing myself for 3 months. The old man lowered his eyes. Then I don't think anything can prepare you for this. They walked through the rows of graves. Lily held Adrian's hand. The Moretti family mausoleum appeared through the rain. Elena's grave was just beyond it. Adrian stopped. The marble looked exactly as he remembered. Elena Moretti, loving wife, beloved daughter, forever in our hearts. He had chosen the words himself. Now they felt like a lie. Thomas pointed toward the earth. Look, the soil behind the grave had been disturbed. Adrian crouched. Fresh mud, fresh footprints. He looked at Thomas. When? Last night. Who opened it? I don't know. Did they touch the coffin? No. Then what were they doing? Thomas swallowed. They dug beneath it. Adrian stood. Why? Thomas didn't answer. Show me. The caretaker led him around the rear of the grave. A second stone slab was visible beneath the earth. Adrian stared. His name was not on it. Elena's was. Again. Same spelling. Same date. Same family crest. Adrian felt something inside him break. Open it. Thomas hesitated. Mr. Moretti, open it. The workers began removing the soil. Lily stood several feet away. Adrian watched. The second stone was lifted. Underneath was a narrow underground chamber. Inside sat a wooden box. Adrian looked at Thomas. Open it. The lid was removed. Empty. Nothing inside. Except for a hospital bracelet. Adrian picked it up. Patient. Unknown female. Date, 3 months ago. Status, alive. His heart hammered. He turned it over. A number had been written on the back. 17. Lily whispered. Mama told you. Adrian stared at the bracelet. Then he noticed something beneath it. A tiny metal tag. He picked it up. It belonged to the same hospital listed on Elena's death certificate. St. Aurelia Medical Center. Adrian stood. Who signed Elena's death certificate? Thomas looked confused. The doctor. Name? Dr. Samuel Voss. Adrian already knew the name. He had seen it before. He had never spoken to him. The night Elena died, Adrian had been told the doctor confirmed her identity. But Adrian had never questioned how. He had trusted the report. He had trusted the people around him. He had trusted grief. Now every piece of that night looked different. Thomas. Yes? Did you see Elena's body? No. Did anyone? The medical team. Was the coffin opened before the funeral? No. Why? Your family ordered it sealed. Adrian's stomach tightened. Who ordered that? Thomas hesitated. Your lawyer. Which one? Mr. Belandi. Adrian's eyes narrowed. Marco? Thomas nodded. Adrian looked at the grave. For the first time, he wondered whether the coffin had ever contained Elena at all. He returned to the estate before dawn. The house was quiet. Lily had fallen asleep in the back seat. Adrian carried her to the guest room and covered her with a blanket. Then he went downstairs. He stood before the locked storage room. Number 17. He inserted the silver key. The lock clicked. Adrian opened the door. Elena's perfume hit him immediately. He stopped. For a moment he could not move. The room was exactly as she had left it. A grey coat, a pair of shoes. A stack of books. Her old camera. A broken music box. Photographs. Letters. He walked slowly inside. His hand touched the grey coat, the one Lily had described. Adrian's breathing changed. There was still a faint trace of Elena's perfume on it. He opened the pocket. A folded receipt. St. Aurelia Medical Center. Date, the day before the accident. Adrian looked at the date. Why had Elena gone there? He opened another drawer. Inside were prescription bottles, sedatives, pain medication, anti-anxiety tablets. All prescribed after the accident, but the dates were wrong. They were from weeks after she supposedly died. Adrian stared. Elena had been alive after the funeral. He was certain now. But why had she stayed away? He found a photograph. Elena standing outside a small house beside a lake. On the back was an address. He recognized it. The old Moretti lake house. It had been abandoned for 10 years. Adrian searched the room. He found a letter. It was addressed to him. Adrian, if you ever find this, it means I couldn't come home. Please don't believe the first story they tell you. Please don't trust the report. And most importantly, don't trust the person who tells you he saved me. Adrian stopped. Marco had saved her. Or claimed he had. He continued reading. I didn't leave because I stopped loving you. I left because loving you became dangerous. There are people inside your family who know what happened to my mother. Your father wasn't the man you believed he was. Neither was mine. And the truth about the night of the accident will destroy everything you think you know about us. Adrian's hands shook. The letter ended with one sentence. If I'm still alive, I'm waiting by the lake. Adrian folded it. He knew where he was going. The lake house was 32 miles north. He left before sunrise. He didn't tell Marco. He didn't tell anyone. Only Lily. When they arrived, the house looked abandoned. Windows broken. Paint peeling. Weeds covering the steps. Adrian opened the door. Elena? No answer. Lily followed him inside. Mama was here. How do you know? She likes the smell of this room. Adrian looked around. The room smelled faintly of lavender. Elena's favorite. On the table was a cup. Still warm. Adrian touched it. Someone left recently. Lily nodded. She told me she would leave before you came. Adrian looked at her. When? Last night. He searched the house. Bedroom, kitchen, basement, nothing. Then he found Elena's clothes, folded neatly. A pair of boots, a hairbrush, a photograph of Adrian sleeping. His heart tightened. She had been here. She had watched him from somewhere. He found another letter. This one was unfinished. Adrian, I know you're angry. You have every right to be. But if you are reading this, please understand one thing. I didn't disappear because I wanted freedom. I disappeared because someone told me that if I returned to you, they would kill Lily. Adrian froze. He looked toward the hallway. Lily! The girl came running. Where is your mother? She didn't tell me. What did she tell you? She said I must never let you bring me back to the house. Why? Because the bad man knows about me. Adrian crouched. Who is the bad man? Lily shook her head. Mama said I shouldn't say his name. Why? He can hear. Adrian looked around. Who can hear? Lily pointed toward the ceiling. The house. Adrian frowned. What? Mama said there are ears in the walls. Adrian immediately searched the room. Behind a painting, he found a tiny listening device. He ripped it from the wall. Someone had been monitoring the house. Someone had known Elena was here. Adrian's phone vibrated. Unknown number. He answered. Who is this? A woman's voice. Adrian? Elena? Yes. His heart stopped. Where are you? Don't come looking for me. I already found the lake house. You shouldn't have. I'm coming. No. Elena, I'm done losing you. Silence. Then her voice softened. I never stopped loving you. Adrian closed his eyes. Then come home. I can't. Why? Because someone inside your house is listening. Adrian looked at the device in his hand. I know. No. Her voice became urgent. You don't understand. What? The person listening isn't working alone. Adrian's eyes narrowed. How many? I don't know. Who are they? I can't say. Why? Because if they know I'm talking to you. A sharp sound interrupted her. Elena? She whispered. Don't come alone. I won't. Adrian? Yes? If you still wear your wedding ring. He looked down. He had stopped wearing it after the funeral. I don't. There was silence. Then she whispered, Then maybe you really did forget me. I could never forget you. Then remember this. What? The first place we kissed. Adrian's mind flashed back. The old chapel. Their first kiss had happened behind the altar during a thunderstorm. He understood. You're there. The line went dead. Adrian ran outside. The chapel was 5 miles away. But someone was already watching the lake house. A black SUV sat across the road. Adrian saw it. The engine started. He grabbed Lily. "Get down." The SUV sped away. Adrian memorized the plate. Then his phone rang again. "Marco," Adrian answered. "Where are you?" "At the lake." Adrian's eyes narrowed. "How did you know?" "Because you weren't at the house. You followed me." "I followed the message." "What message?" "From Elena." Adrian looked toward the road. "What did she tell you?" Marco hesitated. "She said you were in danger." Adrian stared at the phone. "Did she tell you about the chapel?" Silence. "Marco?" "No." "You're lying." "I didn't know." Adrian hung up. He looked at Lily. "Do you know what your mother meant by the chapel?" Lily nodded. "Mama said the chapel is where everything began." Adrian drove. The old chapel appeared through the trees. The doors were unlocked. He entered. "Elena?" No answer. Then he saw something on the altar. A wedding photograph. Adrian and Elena. Their faces young, happy. Behind the photograph was a note. "You were never supposed to find me." Adrian turned it over. A second sentence. "But you were always supposed to find the truth." A floorboard creaked behind him. He turned. Marco stood in the doorway. Adrian raised his weapon. "Stop." Marco froze. "I came alone. You lied to me. I protected you. You knew Elena was alive." "Yes." "You knew she was at the lake." "Yes." "You knew about the chapel." "No." Adrian's eyes narrowed. Marco slowly raised his hands. "I swear." "Then why are you here?" "Because Elena called me." "When?" 10 minutes ago." "What did she say?" "She said someone was coming for you." "Who?" "I don't know." A loud crash came from outside. Marco turned. Adrian didn't. He watched Marco's face. Fear. Real fear. Then a gunshot shattered the chapel window. Marco grabbed Adrian and pulled him down. Another shot struck the wall. Lily screamed. Adrian covered her. "Stay down!" Marco looked toward the broken window. "They found us." "Who?" "I don't know." "Then start talking." Marco looked at him. "Your father." Adrian went still. "My father is dead." Marco shook his head. "No. He died 22 years ago. That is what you were told." Adrian stared. "Who told you?" "Your uncle." "My uncle died before my father." "No." Marco's voice dropped. They both disappeared. Adrian's mind raced. "What are you saying? Your father never died." Another shot. Marco pulled Adrian toward the side door. "We have to leave." "Where?" "Somewhere they can't hear us." "Where?" "The old tunnels." Adrian looked at Lily. "Can you run?" She nodded. They escaped through the back of the chapel. Beneath the floor was an old tunnel leading toward the forest. They moved through darkness. Adrian's mind wouldn't stop. His father alive. Elena alive. The grave empty. The death certificate false. Marco lying. Someone listening. Everything was connected. Then they reached a hidden chamber. Marco locked the door. Adrian turned. "Talk." Marco leaned against the wall. "I've been trying to protect Elena for 3 months. Why didn't you tell me?" "Because Elena believed they were watching you." "Who?" "The people who worked for your father." "My father is dead." "No." Marco stared at him. "He's alive." Adrian's voice became quiet. "Where?" "I don't know." "You expect me to believe that?" "I know where he was." "Where?" "The night Elena disappeared." Adrian stepped forward. "Tell me." "He was at the medical center." Adrian's blood ran cold. "Why?" "He signed the death report." Adrian froze. "That's impossible." "I saw him." "Then who was the woman in the coffin?" Marco looked away. "A stranger." Adrian's breathing stopped. "Who?" "I don't know." "Why did you let me bury her?" "Because if you knew Elena was alive, they would have killed you." "They almost killed her." "I know. You watched me mourn her." "I know." Adrian's voice cracked. "You watched me die every day." Marco looked at him. "I did." "Why?" Because Elena begged me. Adrian closed his eyes. Why? Because she knew your father would use you to find her. Adrian stared at him. And where is she now? Marco shook his head. I don't know. Then Lily spoke. Mama is close. Both men turned. How do you know? She told me. When? Before she left the cabin. What did she say? Lily looked toward the tunnel wall. She said if Adrian comes here, I should tell him something. What? She said. Lily pointed toward the bricks. Look behind the third stone. Adrian moved. Third stone. He pulled it free. Inside was a small metal box. He opened it. A ledger. Old. Black leather. Adrian recognized the crest. His father's. Marco stepped back. No. Adrian opened the first page. Names. Dates. Payments. Secret accounts. Political contacts. Police officials. Judges. And at the bottom of every page was one signature. Massimo Moretti. Adrian stared. Why did Elena have this? Marco whispered. Because she found it. Where? Your father's old office. Adrian turned the page. A note was attached. If Adrian finds this, tell him the truth. Marco looked at him. What truth? Adrian read the next line. Your father didn't order my death. Adrian stopped. What? The next sentence was written beneath it. He ordered my disappearance. Adrian stared. Then who ordered the crash? Marco shook his head. I don't know. The final page contained a name. Not Massimo. Not Marco. Not Victor. A name Adrian had heard many times. Nadia Moretti. His own cousin. Adrian's face went blank. Marco whispered, She was working for your father. Adrian closed the ledger. Then why would Elena accuse her? Maybe she wasn't accusing her. Adrian looked again. Beside Nadia's name was a date. The night of the accident. Then another name. Victor Hale. Then Clara Bell. 3 names. 3 people. All present that night. Adrian realized something. They weren't 3 suspects. They were 3 witnesses. The person who caused the accident was someone else. Someone they were protecting. Someone powerful enough to make all 3 stay silent. Adrian's phone vibrated. A message. Come to the old greenhouse. Come alone. Bring the ledger. Adrian looked at Marco. Don't. Why? Because whoever sent that message wants the ledger. Then we don't go. Adrian smiled. No. He closed the box. We go. Marco stared. You're walking into a trap. I know. Then why? Because traps only work when the person setting them knows what you're going to do. Adrian looked at Lily. And they don't know what I'm going to do. Lily smiled. Mama said you would say that. Adrian laughed quietly. Your mother knows me too well. They reached the greenhouse just before midnight. The glass walls reflected the moonlight. Adrian entered first. A woman stood inside. Nadia. She turned. Adrian. He raised the weapon. Tell me the truth. I will. Did you know Elena survived? Yes. Did you help hide her? Yes. Did you arrange the accident? No. Then who did? Nadia began crying. Your father. Adrian's expression hardened. You just said no. I said I didn't arrange it. Then what did you do? I gave them the route Elena would take. Adrian stared. Why? Because I was threatened. By whom? Massimo. He's dead. Nadia looked at him. No. Where is he? I don't know. Then why are you protecting him? Because he has Lily's mother. Adrian froze. Anna? Nadia nodded. He has her. Adrian's jaw tightened. Where? I don't know. You're lying. No. Nadia reached into her coat. Adrian raised the weapon. She slowly pulled out a photograph. Anna was tied to a chair, alive. Behind her stood a man whose face was hidden in shadow. Adrian stared. When was this taken? Yesterday. Who sent it? Massimo. Adrian looked at Nadia. Why would he take Anna? Because Anna knows who was driving the car. Adrian's heart pounded. Who? Nadia whispered. Clara. Adrian went still. Clara? She was driving. Why? Because Massimo ordered her. Adrian stared at the photograph. Then why did Elena survive? Nadia looked away. Because Clara couldn't do it. Adrian lowered the weapon slightly. She swerved. The car went through the barrier. Elena survived. Yes. Then who took her? Massimo's men. Adrian's eyes hardened. Where? Nadia shook her head. The old underground clinic. Adrian remembered the hospital bracelet. Number 17. The private facility. Everything connected. Where is it? Nadia gave him an address. Adrian turned. Marco grabbed his arm. Wait. What? You can't go there. Why? Because that's where they expect you. Adrian looked at him. Good. Marco's face changed. Adrian smiled. Because this time, they won't know what I'm bringing. What? Adrian opened the ledger. Proof. The next morning, Adrian made one decision. He would not attack the clinic. He would not send men. He would not fight Massimo on his terms. Instead, he would expose him. Every page of the ledger was copied. Every account was transferred to journalists. Every recorded conversation was released. Every name was sent to federal investigators. The moment the information went public, Massimo's network began collapsing. People who had protected him for 20 years suddenly had nothing to gain. They started turning on each other. And Adrian waited. Because he knew Massimo would make one mistake. He would come for Elena. And he did. At sunset, a message arrived. You want your wife. Come to the old clinic. Adrian went. But he didn't go alone. Police surrounded the building from 3 directions. Journalists waited outside. Marco entered with him. Lily remained safely with a trusted officer. Adrian walked through the abandoned clinic. Massimo, his father's voice echoed. You always were impatient. Adrian looked toward the 2nd floor. Where is Elena? Safe. Bring her out. She'll come when you understand. I understand everything. No. Massimo appeared. Older. Gray-haired. Calm. You understand what you found. Adrian stared at him. You destroyed my family. Massimo smiled. I built your family. You built a prison. I built an empire. And now it's gone. Massimo's smile disappeared. You think money is power? No. Then what is? Adrian looked at him. Truth. Massimo laughed. Truth doesn't protect anyone. It protected Elena. Massimo's expression changed. Adrian saw it. He knew. Elena was nearby. Where is she? Massimo pointed toward a hallway. Room 17. Adrian walked. The door opened. Elena was there. Alive. She looked at him. Adrian. He crossed the room. She ran into his arms. He held her tightly. For a moment, neither cared about Massimo. Neither cared about the police. Neither cared about the empire collapsing around them. They had found each other. Again. Elena whispered. I knew you would come. Adrian held her. I told you. What? I'd find you. She cried against his shoulder. I was so afraid. So was I. I thought you hated me. I hated the people who took you. And me? I could never hate you. She looked up. Even after everything? Especially after everything. Behind them, Massimo stood silently. Adrian turned. You lost. Massimo shook his head. No. He smiled. You still haven't learned. What? Your greatest weakness isn't Elena. Adrian waited. It's that you still believe family means blood. Adrian looked at him. No. He took Elena's hand. Family means the people who choose you. Massimo's smile disappeared. Police entered. He was arrested. The empire ended that night. Months later, the Moretti name appeared in newspapers for a different reason. Not because of violence. Not because of power. Because Adrian had surrendered control of the organization his father had built and testified against everyone involved. Elena testified too. So did Marco. Nadia, Victor, Clara, and Anna. The truth about the accident became public. Elena had survived. The woman buried under her name had been an unidentified victim whose identity had been deliberately falsified. The sealed coffin had never contained Elena. The second grave had been created as a warning. The white roses had been Elena's way of telling Adrian she was alive. The silver key opened storage room 17. The wedding ring had been returned to him because Elena wanted him to remember the promise they had made. And Lily had been the one person no one considered dangerous enough to silence. A child who saw what adults overlooked. 1 year later, Adrian and Elena returned to the cemetery. Lily came with them. She carried white roses. Adrian knelt beside her. Why white? Because Mama says they mean someone came back. Elena smiled. Adrian looked at her. I did. Lily giggled. Then she reached into her pocket. She pulled out the silver key. Adrian laughed. I thought that was mine. It was. What happened? There was another one. Elena reached beneath her coat. She pulled out a second silver key. Adrian stared. What does yours open? The front door. He smiled. Why? So I can come home. Adrian took her hand. You don't need a key. Why? Because the door will always be open. Elena smiled. Even if I leave. Especially then. Lily looked between them. Can I ask something? Adrian nodded. What? Why did you put flowers on Mama's grave? Adrian looked at Elena. Then at the grave. Because I thought she was dead. Lily nodded. And now? Adrian squeezed Elena's hand. Now I know better. What do you know? He smiled. That sometimes the truth is standing right in front of you. Elena looked at Lily. And sometimes the smallest person in the room is the one brave enough to say it. Lily smiled. They walked away together. The grave remained behind them, but it no longer represented Elena's death. It represented the lie that had once controlled all of them. Adrian never returned to the Moretti Empire. He never rebuilt his father's world. He built something smaller, something honest. Elena opened a small art studio. Anna moved into a house nearby. Lily grew up surrounded by people who finally understood how important her voice had been. And every year, on the anniversary of the night Elena disappeared, Adrian bought white roses. Not for the grave, for Elena. He would place them on the kitchen table, and Elena would always smile. Why white? Why white? Adrian would answer the same way every time. Because you came back. And she would take his hand. Where else would I go? Sometimes the greatest mysteries are not solved by powerful men. Sometimes they are solved by a forgotten photograph. A small key. A child's memory. A flower placed where no one thought to look. And sometimes, the person everyone has already mourned is still fighting somewhere in the darkness, waiting for one person to believe them. Elena had waited, Adrian had searched, and Lily had seen the truth. Because adults had looked at the grave, the little girl had looked behind it, and that was where the truth had been waiting all along.